Referendums in Taiwan at both the national and local level are governed by the Referendum Act of Taiwan, which was enacted by the Legislative Yuan in December 2003. Citizens can propose laws via referendums at the national and local levels. The Referendum Act also allowed people to make changes or abolish laws by referendums, while the rights of initiatives and referendums are mentioned in the Three Principles of the People n. Chapter 9, Article 136 of the Constitution of 1947. A law pertaining specifically to referendums was not enacted until 2003. The Referendum Act was promoted by Democratic Progressive Party politicians such as Chai Trong-rong, Lin Yi-xiang, Ye Chu-lan, Lu Xiu-yi, Lin Cho-shui, and the Chen Shui-bian-Annette Lu administration. While both citizens of Taiwan and the Legislative Yuan can initiate the referendum process, the Pan-Blue Coalition held a legislative majority at the time of the Act's promulgation, and set an extremely high bar to prevent its application. No national referendum question had reached the majority support quota until 2018, when 7 questions were approved as part of a 10-question referendum. 3 had been successful at the local level. New Power Party, Taiwan Solidarity Union, and some DPP members are major forces in the legislature calling for reform. The Legislative Yuan revised several sections of the Referendum Act in December 2017. The first-round proposal threshold for national and local referendums were cut from 0.1 to 0.01% of the electorate in the most recent presidential election, and the second-tier proposal threshold for referendums was lowered from 5 to 1.5% of the electorate. Additionally, referendums will be declared passed if a majority of voters vote for propositions, and the number of agreeing votes reaches 25% of the electorate, instead of 50%. Several amendments to the Referendum Act were proposed in June 2019. Among them a requirement for voters to provide a photocopy of their national identification card when voting on referendums. An amendment to separate election years from referendum years was passed, and will take effect in August 2021. The same amendment also limited referendum voting to every 2 years, and mandated a specific date for the vote, the 4th Saturday in August, putting the next referendum on the 28th of August 2021. There have been 16 national referendums in Taiwan. During the first 6, 2 referendum questions were asked in each of 3 national elections. In each of these 6 national referendums, yes votes won a majority over no votes. However, the referendum results were invalidated each time due to low turnout rate. According to the referendum law, 50% turnout of qualified voters is required for the referendum to be valid. The threshold has yet to be reached, as the Kuomintang asked its supporters to boycott each referendum. Therefore, the removal of the turnout restriction in the referendum law has been proposed. Several provisions regarding turnout were amended by the Legislative Yuan in December 2017. Following amendments to the Referendum Act, 10 questions were asked during the 2018 Taiwanese referendum, held alongside local and municipal elections. A national referendum on the state of Kuomintang party assets was proposed in 2006. The act governing the handling of ill-gotten properties by political parties and their affiliate organizations was promulgated by the Legislative Yuan in July 2016 to handle the issue instead. In 2010, the Referendum Review Committee, then controlled by the Pan-Blue Coalition, rejected several referendum proposals against the Economic Cooperation Framework Agreement, signed in 2010, despite the collection of nearly 200,000 signatures supporting a referendum on cross-strait economic pacts. Public opinion surveys show a majority of respondents opposed the signing of the ECFA with China, and many experts, politicians, and protesters see a referendum for the ECFA as essential. In 2016, Kuomintang Vice Chairman Hao Lungpin proposed that the fate of a food import ban in place against Japan since the 2011 Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster be decided via referendum. The Kuomintang Legislative Caucus moved to reduce turnout restrictions so the food import ban could be considered via referendum, but the proposal did not pass. From 1990 to 2003, 16 local referendums were called. Since the Referendum Act passed, 4 local referendums have been held as of 2016. The first one was held in Kaohsiung in 2008 for reducing the size of classes in elementary school and high school. It was invalid due to its low turnout rate. The other 3 attempted to legalize casinos and were valid due via special law. The ones held in Penghu in 2009 and 2016 failed, while the one held in Liechang in 2012 succeeded. No legal casino has yet been established in Taiwan. Article 17 of the Referendum Act states, when the country is under the threat of foreign force and the nation,